Good morning, and welcome to your AIDailyPress morning podcast for May 18, 2026. I'm your host, Walter. Firstly, we have some positive news from Alaska, where the Pikka oil project has reached a significant milestone. The development of this new energy source is crucial for maintaining global energy security, especially amidst the ongoing challenges posed by the Iran war. In other news, the United Arab Emirates has reported a drone strike near its Barakah nuclear power plant in Abu Dhabi, sparking concerns over regional security and nuclear safety. The incident has been condemned by the UAE's foreign ministry, and the International Atomic Energy Agency has expressed grave concern over the attack. Lastly, global markets are facing unprecedented volatility as US-China tensions escalate amidst rising inflation and interest rates. The recent meeting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping yielded disappointing results, leaving investors on edge and bracing for a potential downturn in the global economy. These stories are complex and multifaceted, but one thing is certain: the next few weeks will be crucial in determining the trajectory of the global economy and regional stability. We'll continue to monitor these situations and provide updates as more information becomes available. And that's a wrap. As the first always say, the world is watching, and so are we. Goodbye for now. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and then shall know what's right now. Firstly, tensions between the US and China are escalating over Taiwan, with the US facing criticism for its apparent reluctance to defend the island against potential Chinese aggression. The situation is delicate, with experts warning that any perceived weakness in the U.S. commitment to Taiwan could embolden China to take a more aggressive stance towards the island. In other news, Iran's increased use of the death penalty has sparked international concern, with many executions taking place in secret and without due process. Human rights organizations are calling for an end to the practice, which they say is being used as a tool of political repression to silence dissent and maintain control. And finally, tensions between the US and Cuba have escalated over allegations that Cuba has acquired attack drones from Russia and Iran, sparking concerns over potential drone warfare in the region. The Cuban government has denied the allegations, but the situation remains volatile, with many calling for calm and diplomacy to resolve the issue. We'll be following these stories closely and providing updates as more information becomes available. In the meantime, we invite our listeners to share their thoughts on these developing stories. Should the U.S. prioritize its relationship with China or stand firm in its support for Taiwan? And how can the international community work together to end the use of the death penalty in Iran and promote human rights around the world? Let us know by commenting on our website or social media channels. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Let's dive into today's top stories. First up, gold prices have taken a hit due to inflation concerns and geopolitical tensions in the Strait of Hormuz. According to our report, spot gold is down 0.2% at $1,728 an ounce, while silver has declined 0.3% to $20.35. Investors are keeping a close eye on minutes from the U.S. Federal Reserve's April meeting for clues on future rate decisions. In other news, Ambuja Cement's subsidiary has emerged as the successful bidder to acquire JP Group's stakes in Belai JP Cement. This deal is expected to bolster Ambuja Cement's presence in the eastern region and strengthen its position in the domestic cement market. Lastly, Nexus Industrial REIT has reported a solid first quarter, with notable gains in its industrial and office properties. Despite facing challenges such as higher credit facility interest, the company remains committed to its growth strategy, with several development projects in the pipeline. For more in-depth analysis and updates, be sure to check out our website. And now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. We have a few key stories to cover today. Firstly, SpaceX is gearing up for a potential initial public offering, with estimated valuations ranging from $0.75 trillion to $2 trillion. As investors eagerly anticipate this move, we're warning them to carefully consider the vehicles they use to invest in private equity assets, prioritizing liquidity, structural transparency, and cost. In other news, Cerebras Systems, a California-based maker of cutting-edge artificial intelligence chips, has gone public with an initial public offering that surpassed expectations. The company's stock opened at $71 and reached an intraday high of $75 before closing the day at $69, putting its market value at approximately $67 billion. While this is exciting news, investors should be prepared for a potentially volatile ride ahead as Cerebras navigates the challenges of being a newly public entity. Lastly, we're reminding investors to approach private equity investments with caution, asking key questions such as costs associated with the investment, liquidity, and transparency of valuations. By doing so, they can minimize unnecessary risks and ensure that they're holding the thesis they came in for rather than a structurally diluted version of it. Stay informed, and we'll keep you updated on these developing stories throughout the day. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Firstly, in European football, Ousmane Dembele's injury has introduced uncertainty ahead of the Champions League final and the World Cup. We'll continue to monitor his condition and provide updates as more information becomes available. Moving on to the United Football League, this season is shaping up to be one for the books, with the Orlando Storm extending their winning streak to 6 games, and the Houston Gamblers pulling off a stunning upset against the St. Louis Battlehawks. The competition is heating up, with several teams vying for the top spot. And in tennis, Jannik Sinner has made history by becoming the first male home winner of the Italian Open in 49 years. This remarkable achievement solidifies his position as a force to be reckoned with in the tennis world, and he's now poised to be a top contender at the French Open. Stay informed, stay entertained, and we'll catch you up on more sports news throughout the day. I'm Howard, and this is the AIDailyPress Morning Podcast. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we've been following the developments in Ukraine, where tensions continue to rise. In our previous reports, we discussed the ongoing conflict and its global implications. However, we'd like to shift our focus to more uplifting topics for today's podcast. In the world of comedy, Saturday Night Live UK has been making waves since its debut. With a talented cast and guest hosts like Tina Fey and Jamie Dornan, the show is working to win over British audiences. While it faces challenges adapting to the local humor landscape, it has shown promise and has been renewed for a second series. We also recently reported on the Irish famine commemoration, where people came together to pay tribute to the victims of Angortamore. The event served as a powerful reminder of the importance of preserving cultural heritage and the human spirit's capacity to persevere in the face of adversity. These stories highlight the diversity of topics we cover at AIDailyPress, from entertainment to historical events. We'll continue to bring you in-depth analysis and thought-provoking discussions on the issues that matter most. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. We've got a lot to catch up on today. First off, let's talk about the Academy of Country Music Awards. What a night it was. Ella Langley absolutely slayed, taking home multiple awards, including Song of the Year and Single of the Year for her hit Choose in Texas. Her performance of Be Her gave me chills. It was raw, honest, and vulnerable. In other news, we're talking horror movies. Lee Cronin's The Mummy is now available to stream, and I have to say, it's a game changer. With its fresh take on the classic monster and timely themes of family, trauma, and redemption, this one's a must-see for horror fans. And finally, we're keeping an eye on Ella Langley's historic win at the ACMs, which marks a major milestone for female artists in country music. Now for the latest in nature and environment. Here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. We've had 3 fascinating reports over the past few days. Firstly, we delved into the world of marine biology with an in-depth look at the conservation efforts surrounding a stranded humpback whale named Timmy in Germany. Unfortunately, despite a costly and daring rescue attempt, Timmy's body was recently found near the Danish coast. This story raises important questions about the balance between compassion and pragmatism in wildlife conservation. In other news, we celebrated National Biodiversity Week with a special report highlighting community-led conservation efforts across Ireland. From cycling tours to online seminars, there are plenty of ways for individuals to get involved and make a difference in protecting our natural world. Lastly, we explored the intriguing story of the Hedgerow Cycle in Dublin, which combines cycling with nature exploration, showcasing the importance of preserving natural habitats even in urban settings. If you'd like to learn more about these stories, be sure to tune in to our full reports on the AI Daily Press podcast. And that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David, a tenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.